just thinking what it was like, all those times, in the 50s and making it, creating it. And also at that time, too, we were learning, I know that, acknowledge all the things that he had to come through the music to make life better for everybody. And God bless him.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the most extraordinary thing about my Uncle Grady Gaines, Jimi Hendrix asked my uncle for a gig when my uncle was the band leader and saxophone player for Little Richard. And I also recorded Hey Joe, which is a Jimi Hendrix song, on the Thrill Is Gone CD. And I recorded Red House, which belongs to Jimi Hendrix.
That's right. And that's right, bringing that all together now. In the past, we were talking, and now, bless you, that you'd be able to do this. And, yes, we're talking about the new Carolyn Gaines CD out there, just released this August. The Thrill Is Gone, and it's all those tunes that she grew up with, delivering that old-school blues sound. And, again, and let's see what I got here. Damn right, I got the blues. That's the first track on that track. And I'll be playing these when we get done talking here for everybody to hear. But that's the title track, or the first one on the CD, correct?
Right, damn right. I got the blues, which was inspired by Buddy Guy, and Gino Martinelli is featured on guitar. And then, yes?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the second cut is Deep Moaning Blues, which you and I on the Hoop and Goo radio show did a lot of history about the great Ma Rainey. And this song, Deep Moaning Blues, is from 1923, and I went back in the 1900s to sing Deep Moaning Blues.
Yeah, and back to that, I did listen to a little bit of, I had our blog talk, and what I learned back is how those ladies, used their voice and the style and the strain and the tone, and we don't have that, and that was great, and you're, again, creating that and bringing it together for us. And the other thing, Carolyn, is you do sing on the show, too. A little bit hint there. You do sing as we go, and that's really an awesome thing that you do for us. But, yeah. Grady Gaines Jr. is on there, and that's your cousin. And again, everybody, the family. Your father is Roy Gaines, and he's Diana Ross and all those great people back in the day. And what a time that had to be growing up and all that stuff, huh?
Right, and my dad was Diana Ross's guitars as well as Billie Holiday's guitars. And I did sing God Bless the Child, which was a song that I always wanted to sing at the age of 16, where I had studied Diana Ross and Billie Holiday's version. So here I am bringing it into the faith of now. I'm singing God Bless the Child on my new CD, The Thrill Is Gone.
And the guitar player, is that not Buddy Guy's guitar player with you too? On that?
Yes.
On that track?
On the Thrill Is Gone, that is featured Rick Jazz, which is extraordinary, along with my cousin Grady Gaines Jr. All right, the sax man. So I got two legendary artists on The Thrill Is Gone, which is fascinating. I got Rick Jazz, that tours with none other than the great Buddy Guy nightly. And then I have my cousin Grady Gaines Jr., which is my Uncle Grady Gaines Sr.'s son.
I'm chuckling because you know what it's like to try to interview all this, especially I was thinking when I first met you, junior, senior, uncle, you have to get that straight. And then we got, I know, because there's a lot going on. The senior and the junior kind of throws your brain off. Like, I always got to be like, okay. That's it. Yeah.
I got to be like, did I sing Deep Moaning Blues by Ma Rainey or Bessie Smith? Which one is it? Because I always get confused. But Deep Moaning Blues belongs to Ma Rainey. And once again, my Uncle Grady, my cousin is on the sax. And then we got Hey Joe, which belongs to Jimi Hendrix. And that is just vocals and guitar with Gino Barnetti on guitar. And then we got I got my mojo working, which was inspired by Muddy Waters and Buddy Guy. It was written by Willie Dixon. And on guitar, I have Gino Barnelli, and piano, I have Charles Sherman, which I think came out really, really nice. And then, like I said, the song that I feel like I'm afraid of sometimes is I'd Rather Go Blind. So, but I'd Rather Go Blind was truly inspired by none other than the late, great Etta James. And my cousin, which is Grady Gaines Jr., is on sax, and Mo Blink is on the organ, and the upright bass is the great Dale Atkins, who also played the bass on my first CD. Oh, God, what's the name of my first CD? I'm losing my mind. Beware My Dog. Yeah, which goes back to Big Mama Thornton time period and Elvis Presley. So, but I felt like on that song I delivered a crying, bluesy, soulful blues sound that was delivered to the great Buddy Guy. And then I went on to do Red House, which is inspired by Jimi Hendrix. And my cousin Grady Gaines Sr. is on the Red House song, and we got Stormy Monday, which was inspired by Bobby Blue Band. Belongs to T-Bone Walker, which T-Bone Walker was and still is my dad's best friend. So, and I love Stormy Monday. It's fascinating, and that was on Duke Records, recorded by Bobby Bland.
Yeah, Lawrence Lebo, I believe, that is a song, Stormy Monday. That is probably what it is, too. I'm not for sure. But a lot of these things I've learned, but when I'm looking at that's, all such great classics that you guys all have together. And the names, the names that you bring in the family, I remember you were telling me that Ike Turner and stuff when you were growing up at your birthday party, that's what I think about when you to you it's life and all that. Carolyn Gaines is my guest, but all the people that you've known growing up and what the times were, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, but it was all real. But it was blues and rock and roll, and for example, Bobby Blue Band and my dad and my Uncle Grady Gaines, they all best friends, and I got to go to Bobby Blue Band's concert. And I never forget, he was in his dressing room getting dressed, and I walked in unexpectedly, and I said, ooh, let me get out of here. But he was getting dressed for his concert. It was in Los Angeles. I can't remember the name of the place now, but it was on Crenshaw Boulevard. It was one of the top clubs to have concerts in Los Angeles. And then Sweet Home Chicago was another cut on there, cut number 11, and that was inspired by Buddy Guy, Robert Johnson, which, Robert Johnson is a great legend from Chicago with the Chicago blues sound, and my legendary Uncle Grady Gaines is doing his sax on Sweet Home Chicago at the end, and just to place the sax at the end, I think it is extraordinary. It came out really beautiful. And then the final cut is number 12. And that was inspired by B.B. King. And I love this song because my Uncle Grady Gaines blew his sax on there. And I think he did an amazing, special job. And I wish B.B. King was here to hear my uncle play sax on The Thrill Is Gone. And my uncle also played with sax and band leader for Sam Cooke. And he also played with Clarence Gatemount Brown. And Clarence Gatemount Brown was actually great friends of my father, Roy Gaines, as well as my Uncle Grady Gaines Sr. And like we said before, Buddy Guy's guitarist, which is Rick Jazz, is featured on The Thrill Is Gone, along with my Uncle Grady Gaines Sr. is featured on sax on The Thrill Is Gone. And Roy Gaines, which is my dad, and that's my Uncle Grady Gaines Senior brother, and my dad, Roy Gaines, is also my cousin Grady Gaines Jr. brother, and Roy Gaines is also my daddy. That's a lot going on. That's a long sentence.
and just looking at hearing what you're doing and all this. CD. It's great because in 5, 10, 20 years, this is all for you and always there. And, the family and the musical, and you brought that together. And, that leads me to one thing about this great story that you have here with this CD, where you recorded at the Sunnyside Studio in L.A. I believe that was is closing down. Was that not the story? And then you got everybody together to do this, so there's kind of a closing to that, too. In a special time.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. It was closing down. But what happened was, after I recorded Beware My Dog, and I kept waiting, and a year later, I finally picked the phone up, and I called Sunnyside Studio and spoke with the engineer. And I said, listen, I want to come back and record. He said, Sunnyside Studio has been sold. He said, get it in 30 days. So I had to get a band because I don't like recording with tracks. So I had to get a band. I had to round up everybody. But this time I said, I don't want all the instruments in there. I just want certain instruments like bass, guitar, piano, organ, and harmonica. So I had 30 days to round up all the entertainers, the musicians, and everything just fell in place. But I wanted this to be a tribute album to, Buddy Guy, Bobby Blue Band, Jimi Hendrix, Etta James, Rainey, artists that, I felt like, that I wanted to give some exposure and support to for our generation to listen to. And I'm sure that this album would make history because I just went back in everybody's time, and the most favorite person that I could actually go back in time in is Deep Moaning Blues, to be able to go back into 1923 and sing Ma Rainey's song that is so special to me. And I did want to sing one of Bessie Smith's songs, but I wanted to do that song with Bobby Womack's nephew, but it didn't work out. I sure wish that could have happened, to record that song with Womack's nephew. He's a great, extraordinary guitarist. So that didn't work out, but next time. But also, I got to sit in Phantom Rolls Royce and wear my my polka dot.
I see
and,
that. I know.
Yeah, so
I know
the CD cover is amazing. So I sat in the Phantom Rolls Royce. Thank you. And I got a polka dot hat on, and I got the mic, as if I'm singing. And then my uncle and my cousin, the family is on the CD cover inside and out. But the special thing was last year, November, I flew into Houston to get the photo shoot with my Uncle Grady Gaines and my cousin at his house. So I'm actually sitting on my uncle's sofa at his house in Houston, Texas, which is my Uncle Grady Gaines Sr. And so that was really extraordinary. And his wife, Nell, she cooked us some good fish and French fries. That was really good. But it was very nice. And then my niece, which is 5 years old now, Alicia, I think she'll grow up and be a great blues singer. If everyone look on Facebook, my niece, we were in Houston, and I was sitting at the DMV, and she had her mom, which is my niece, gave me a hat. She put the hat on. I had a jean jacket on, and she put the jean jacket on, and she just started saying, I'm Carolyn Gaines. I'm Carolyn Gaines. I'm Carolyn Gaines. And so that was really cute, and it's all over Facebook. And about 600 hits on that. But anyway, once again, my album is on CD Baby, iTunes, Spotify, and I hope everybody go out and grab a copy of The Thrill Is Gone. And it truly is The Thrill Is Gone, and I'm Carolyn Gaines, and it's truly dedicated to the king of the blues, which is Buddy Guy. I'm sorry. Well, Buddy Guy is the king of blues for today, after his friend is gone, which is B.B. King. But truly today, again, in my heart, B.B. King will always be the king of blues to me, and I love B.B. King, and I love his style, and I love everything that he brought to the genre of the blues, and I love everything that my dad, Roy Gaines, and my Uncle Grady Gaines brought to the blues, rock and roll, and jazz, and rockabilly. So I have so much blues and music in me that I can sing pretty much any styles of music. And like I said, the thrill is gone, and this moment right here on the Hoopla Show make me very happy. Thank you.
Thank you kindly. And guess what? Our connection